Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Be Healed Web Show. I am your host, Camille R. Perry, and I'm so excited to have you on tonight. This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I know I will. I don't know about you, but wow, we're moving through the month of July. It's July 22nd. Where has time gone? Like we have one more Tuesday in July and then we're right into August. So what does that mean? Hey Simhar, good to see you, sis. I know you'll be back soon. But coming out of July, less than 30 days, I believe we're about 29, almost 28 days away from the Be Healed Women's Conference and Retreat. Registration, formal registration, including hotel room bookings, that closes on registration closes basically August 1st because the hotel bookings will close on August 2nd. So if you haven't already secured your room, if you haven't already secured your registration, please do so because it's happening. It's happening. Final counts and all those great things have been given. Items have been and all the nifty gifties that the registrants are going to receive. It's going to be an amazing time, and so I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, but I'm like, man, we're just a few days away. And it's not too long from now that God is going to meet us there and continue to bring us where He wants us to be. Already met with the core team, already met with the worship leaders. I am looking forward to what God is going to do at Be Healed Women's Conference and Retreat. So you can scan the QR code that you see before you, or you can visit the website to register by simply going to BeHealedConference.com. And that's where you can register. And it's going to be an amazing time. We do have something that we're going to offer once registration closes for those that, so just stay tuned for that because I do know we all have a busy schedule. We all have quite a bit on our plate at this time. So I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to be a part. All right. Birthdays, man, happy birthday to all of my July babies. I know next Tuesday, I'll definitely do a special shout out for my baby as she'll be turning 26 on the 30th. But listen to all you, wherever you might fall, whether you're the end of July, the beginning of July, or this week, happy birthday to you. May the good Lord keep blessing you. All right. Man, life be lifing, right? We hear that, we see that, we know that. I definitely won't be before you long on tonight. You all saw the news just like I did, hearing the abrupt, unexpected passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner, B.O. Huxtable, as I've known him the first 30 years of my life, right? Being able, hi, Mom. I'm sure this location looks familiar to you, Mommy. But, you know, um, someone who just, has just never had a crossword said about, a celebrity who's never had a crossword said about them, acted, did music, poetry, you name it. And to see that, out of nowhere, we're getting a notification about his untimely passing. And then, of course, the news keeps coming in because it seems like once one, here comes, just the subsequent numbers. And here's the interesting thing: every death doesn't make the headline. We've seen a lot happen in these past, few years specifically. Hey, sis, I love you, praying for you. Let me know how Kylan's doing. Um, every death that experience doesn't make the headlines. Everything doesn't get reported to TMZ, right? I just read a sister in Christ, Sister Rhonda Love, went home to be with the Lord. Hey, Shannon, so many people. So everything's not a headline. Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, the list goes on. There's so much, and it brings me back down to the just recently um, seeing Flamisha Perot, who passed away from just so much so young and old alike, leaving out of here. Hey, Sister Jessie, and so. Hey, Janita, praying for you, dear. I'm grateful that you're recovering from your back surgery. We've been praying for you. Um, Life is so fleeting. Life is so fleeting, and I think I've talked about this before, but I think it's relevant. But I want to focus in James on tonight a little bit, just as a PSA. So we know in Psalms 90, Moses writes the account of Moses' psalm is in Psalms 90, and he's talking, Lord, teach us to number our days. And understanding that if we want to gain wisdom, we know the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And to gain wisdom, to be grateful for every sunrise and sunset, to count them all. But if we find ourselves complaining, and that happens, we're human. There's always something that goes wrong that we didn't care for. There's always a lack of some sort. Hi, Mama, too. Love you. there's always some there's always going to be a place where you can see that there's, because in accounting there's debits and credits, right? That's really the theory of life. There's debits and credits. There's going to be something that deducts from your life, and then there's going to be something that adds to your life. It's just how life goes. And so sometimes we focus so much on what's been deducted that we don't celebrate what's been added, what's been multiplied, what's been given. The book of James, chapter 4. My mom, I thank God for my parents, because my parents, like I was telling my niece on Sunday, they made the introduction to God for me. They introduced me to this wonderful man named Jesus, uh, and I'm grateful for the introduction. But I thank God that from personal experience in relationship, I know Him for myself. But one thing my mom used to always say, if the Lord wills. My mom was notorious. Two things that she would always say. If she received a compliment, to God be the glory. If we're making plans, if the Lord wills. Since I was a little girl, I can always count on my mother saying those two things. And growing up, you always say, oh, I'm not going to be like that. When somebody says that I'm good at something, I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm going to take the compliment. I'm not going to be like that. Here I am at Big 41. Somebody said, I'm like, oh, to God be the glory. Just, I have definitely become the everything that my, like when I used to say, oh, I won't be like my mom. No, I'm just like my mom. But I'm grateful for that, because I understand it's to God be the glory. Every great thing that I've experienced in my life, every good and perfect thing, every positive well wish, every, even the times when doors have closed in my face, or that call back didn't happen like I thought it would, to God be the glory. But when she used to say, if the Lord wills, if the Lord wills, if the Lord wills, we'll do this and that. So real quick, James chapter 4. And I know it's a very familiar passage for all of my Bible readers. You all know this. Um, and so, this is just a quick little refresh, nothing new right there at all, but it's just a little PSA. And it's under the portion of regarding, in the New Living Translation, is talking about warning about self-confidence, that sometimes we can, if we can get unchecked. Remember the old rap song, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself? What? Okay. Because it's bad for your health. I forgot the other part. I'm pretty sure it might have had something in there I wasn't supposed to say. That's probably why I only know those parts. But anyways, we got to check ourselves, because we can get into a mode, especially in planning. Okay, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do that this day. Okay, I'm gonna call this person. I. And we might forget that if the Lord don't wake us up, if the Lord doesn't allow it to be, then it won't be. We can make a lot of plans. We really can. But if we don't, Lord, if the Lord wills, and I used to think like, oh my God, that can sound so dark. That can sound, but let's just call it for what it is. It can sound dark, but it's not. It's hey friend, ain't seen you in a minute. It can sound dark, but it's really not. It's really encouraging. It should be encouraging, because it should be the refreshing, the reminder to make sure you include him in whatever you plan. That before I go to this next step, we grew up, hey Mama Moore, we grew up saying that prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul will take, he'll take. We grew up saying that. There's a thing right now, I think on TikTok and Instagram, a little girl was like, I ain't gonna die. No, I ain't gonna die. And she was like, no, baby, you just say that because it's part of the prayer. We don't want to die, but we're just saying, Lord, if I do. She said, but I don't want to die. It's very cute. But it's making sure that we know that we're not in charge. That we're not we don't own it. We don't own this world. I know Luther Vandross and others, because he wasn't the original writer of the song, but he definitely, I think, I forgot who originally sang that song, If This World Was Mine. But the world isn't. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And all of us that dwell in it, we belong to him. Period. But it's guarding ourselves from thinking that we don't ever want to have that I-itis-ness of life, that it's all about the I Trinity, the me, myself, and I. That it's me, mine, my career, my this, my no. You're being extended this great opportunity to live in this life. You've been blessed and equipped to do various things. And then you've been gifted these various talents, resources, abilities, homes, and for you to steward over, for you to care for you to shepherd. And then when your time is done, when my time is done, for us to go back and stand before the one who gave it to us in the first place and understand what we've done with this, give an account. Yeah, I thought it was Dionne Warwick, but I wasn't sure if it was A House Is Not a Home. That's why I was like, wait, was it Dionne? Okay. Yeah, Sarah, she sang it first, but when Luther got a hold to it, it became a hit. So James chapter 4, New Living Translation. James, the half brother of Jesus Christ, because he's Mary's baby. Jesus is Mary's baby, but God's only son. James is Joseph and Mary's baby. Okay. They had the same mama. And according to my grandmother, if you have the same mother, then you're full-blooded siblings. Anyways, James chapter 4, New Living Translation. An apostle of Jesus Christ, as it relates to this is believed in and on who Jesus was after the resurrection, like many of them. But James says here, look here, you say, you who say today or tomorrow we are going to a certain town and will stay there a year. We will do business there and make a profit. How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here for a little while, then it's gone. What you ought to say is, if the Lord wants us to, we will live and do this or that. Otherwise, you are boasting about your own pretentious plans, and all such boasting is evil. Remember, it is a sin to know what you ought to do and then not do it. Now, listen, that's New Living Translations, James 4, verse 13 through 17. We have to understand, and if we go back up a little bit further, actually, there's a little bit further up. Oh no, it's in that same passage, because in one translation it says life is but a vapor, it's seen today and gone tomorrow. But in here, in this translation, it says life is but a fog, that it is seen and then it disappears. Understanding, and not to try to be morbid or insensitive, because let me tell you something: grief is real. Grief is not linear. Uh, Grief will hit you at any time. Listen, yeah, very well acquainted. And I think because we've seen such large amount of death with the sheriffs recently in that bombing that happened in Los Angeles, I believe, or Los Angeles County, not to mention the lives lost in the various floodings that we've had in the nation, not to mention the things, the accidents happening random. I mean, it's been a lot, guys. And every death doesn't make the headlines. Some of you have lost family members and friends and loved ones recently, and no headlines have been posted. You've went to services, you planned, and it hasn't been worldwide news, but it's been breaking news in your heart, breaking news in your life. And so you're trying to balance, okay, that has happened now, but I have to continue on. I have to keep moving forward. And so how do we do that? How do we keep living? And so sometimes even in our grief, in our planning, and hey Vera, good to see you, sis. In our grief, in our planning, in our moving forward, sometimes we can become cavalier because we're just like, okay, I gotta do this. We're in mission mode. We gotta complete the mission. We gotta pick up. I gotta make this happen. I know it. I used to do it often. I used to use a lot of I gotta do, I remember one day, this was many, many years ago. I was living in South Orange County, and I went to bed saying all the things that I needed to do that following day, that I needed, to get prepared for the weekend. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Do you know I woke up sick the next day? And nothing that weekend got done. And I was like, right? Like, there goes my little plans. And sometimes we have to understand we really, like, and I think that's probably the hardest concept for us to really grab a hold to, is that we're not in control. We're not running this. We can't wake ourselves up. We can't even tell our heart how to beat. We can't even, if we could, it would be a whole but we can't. We literally have to understand that we have to resign our will to Almighty God. God, this is your thing. I often pray on the prayer lines on Monday through Friday when we have our prayer line at 6 a.m. in the morning. I often find myself praying, Lord, this your thing. You gonna do what you gonna do. But God, I'm just asking you to help me to receive, to handle, to process, to be okay with whatever comes my God. I need to know that your will being done is better than my will. that I have to believe everything in your word. When you said that you had plans and thoughts that you think towards us, I got to believe that. I have to know that. I have to live in that. And so, Lord, I want your will to be done, because your will, your way is good and acceptable. It's pleasing. It's holy. It's righteous. I might not understand it. I might not get it. But you said by and after a while, when it'll all make sense. So funny, if we're honest with ourselves, whatever age you are, there was some things that you thought about in your 20s, in your teens, in your 30s. If you can remember back to your teens, if not pull from your 30s, there was some things, some people, some places that you were just dead set. I cannot wait. I gotta have this. I gotta do that. Bada boom, bada bing, da da da. And it didn't happen, right? For whatever reason. And you might have, ooh, gut punch. Ooh, ouch. I didn't like that. Or, oh, well, I really thought I was going to work another way. But here you are 10 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years, wherever you might be. And you're looking back like, that was the best thing that could have happened. Hey, Keisha, that's the best thing that could have happened to me. And it's funny how we'll understand it better by and by. We often attribute that to the great by and by, when this life is over. But do you know, keep if the Lord keeps waking us up, we keep seeing these sunrises and sunsets. He starts to show us, you trust me, girl, you did not want him. Brother, I know she was fine, she was bad, but she wasn't the one. That job that you just knew you had to have, now you see them in headlines because they're going out of business, or there's been some fraud. I mean, I know I'm not the only one. I can't be. So I have to understand that, God, you work all things together for the good of them who love you and are called according to your purpose. God, I have to know that no matter what comes my way, you have the perfect will for my life. Your plan for my life supersedes anything that I can even think or imagine. Your plans that you have supersede my own vision board. And don't get me wrong, I love a good vision board. I love making my promise boards and stuff. Oh, I love that. But I went from vision board to promise boards. Let me tell you why. Because I'm like, God, I'm standing on your word. And whatever you have for me, I know I'm going to receive it. Because what God has for me is for me. So when we're looking at the book of James, and I know we just came out of the Wisdom is Better series, this is still a portion of wisdom. This is helping us to understand that using wisdom is understand that, God, this is God, you got this. You got me. And I don't have to rely on myself. Oh, listen, what hurts my heart is when I see people in that rat wheel, because I'll tell you that speech impediment will get me every time, that rat wheel of life, because, oh, I got to do this. I got to make this happen. I got to solve this. I got to, and they're just spinning, going nowhere. They're just spinning. And it hurts my heart because I'm like, but have you prayed about it? And, so listen, out of all my friends, all of my friendships, a lot of my family, a lot of my other social circles, people know Camille loves Jesus. There's not a person, even my students, they know Professor Perry. I've heard her say his name. She always says, God bless you. She's praying for us. Like, I'm not hidden about my relationship with the Lord. And even when I wasn't doing what I needed to do, I was still the friend that my friends would call, be like, oh, we need to pray about, can you pray about this? So I've always, as Lauren Mans, when she was in high school, she used to introduce me, even when she got into college. Oh, this is church lady. So I'm used to it. It don't make me no never mind. Okay. I've always been a PK. I always was the one who, when we played church after church, in between services, I was always the one that had to preach. Like I listen, I get it, and I know that especially with my, I would be at my previous job. Camille, can you pray us in? Can you do it? Because that's who I am, right? I make no qualms about it. I love Jesus, not part time, full time, all the time. I love Jesus. I really do. And because I'm unapologetic about it, by no means do I feel that I have arrived or mastered anything at all, right? Because I'm still learning and growing. I'm still being formed and shaped daily, being refined, right? But when I see my friends and colleagues spinning out, and I'm like, but have you just thought about praying about it? Or I'll try to, depending on who the person is, just especially if I know they're not of faith, and be like, oh well, I'm praying for you. Like, okay, well, let's see, because Jesus really is the answer. He really is. And so when you get to this place where you just keep spinning in circles, at some point you got to ask yourself, huh, this ain't working. There has to be a better way. I told a friend not too long ago, they were going through some stuff, and they've always had a very atheistic approach to life. And I said, listen, hey, I get it. I understand how you feel. And I know you're not a person of faith, and, but you know that I am. So you know that I'm praying, and our family's praying for you. We love you, blah, blah, blah. Right? Truth, truth, truth. Right? But I said, when you come to the end of yourself, when you realize that this ain't working, that you have exhausted all measures that you can, that I pray that you turn to him and he meets you in that moment. When you come to that end of yourself where you say, I need help, I pray that you allow him to meet you in that moment. That's my genuine prayer. I pray that we stop trying to live a life that he gave us without him. I pray that we don't have to wait to the final moments of our lives to realize, oh, that he's real. But if we do, some do, the thief on the cross, he was in his final moments and he met the Lord. Yes, he did. And Jesus said, today you'll be with me in paradise. And look at that. But I pray that more people will have moments of, of life, getting to know who Jesus is. So James chapter 4, 13 through 17 was simply today the guarding against self-confidence. Stop thinking that it's you, yourself, and the I statements of life that's gotten you anywhere. You're not that brilliant. You're fearfully and wonderfully, yeah, because his breath is in your lungs. You can boy, you can write, you can sing, you can talk, you can act, you can coordinate, you can do all these different things because he gave you the ability to do it. And every time you wake up in the morning, there should be a genuine thank you on your lips. And before you close your eyes and go to bed, look yourself in the sheets and blankets, or if you like, second lost. Okay, I think we're back. All right. Sorry about that. Spectrum be spectruming. But long story short, all those gifts and talents that he has blessed and given to you, it's not the goodness of yourself, but it's of the Lord's mercies that we're not consumed. James 4:13 through 17 is just a gentle reminder that life is but a vapor and our total dependency needs to be on God. We cannot lean to our own understanding. We talked about that ad nauseum as it relates in the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. We have to understand that we need the Lord. It's okay to be dependent, be a to be a dependent. It's totally fine. I know a lot of us wish we could still be dependents back in the good old tax days, or at least have some dependents so we could write some of this stuff off, right? But it's okay to be dependent on God. It's highly encouraged, deeply enforced, right? We always want to be independent. I gotta do this my way. No, the best way is doing it the Lord's way. Life is but a vapor. It's here today and gone tomorrow. So as we prepare for going to bed, or some of you might be in different parts of the world and your day might just be getting started, not sure, hey, to God be the glory wherever you might be. Just make sure you include Jesus in your plans on today. Lord, before I get out this bed, what would you have me to do? Before I go to bed tonight, God, thank you for today. What would you have me to do tomorrow? If you bless me to wake up in the morning with a brand new day, God, lead me in the way you want me to go. Let's not take for granted every sunrise and every sunset. And let's not live in the place of just, oh, I know I'm going to wake up tomorrow. We hope, if the Lord wills, if the Lord wills. And with, hey, Latanya, love you, sis. My last bit with this. If we live like that, like Pastor Tuggle used to say this all the time, God rest his soul. We get up there getting ready to sing. Um, New Beginnings was our group. And he would say, sing like it's your last time. You never know, it just may be. And we'd be like, why would he say it like that? That's so sad. But it's the truth. Live like it's your last day. It just may be. You never know. Forgive like it's your last time. Love like it's your last time. Be honest. Be vulnerable. Be kind. Be compassionate. Live in self control. Whatever, like it's your last time. You just never know. I mean, we really don't know when our day is that day. No one knows the day nor the hour when the Son of Man shall return. That, yes, as it relates to uh, the rapture of the church, no one knows the day nor the hour. But guess what? No one also knows the day nor the hour when you have to stand before God yourself. We don't know our death date. I don't care how many times Manifest was trying to figure out the death date and all this other stuff. It was a show on NBC for those that might have watched it and thinking it moved it to the next Netflix, but nobody knows. Doctors can give diagnosis and prognosis, but they still don't know. So, Lord, teach us to number our days. Every day that you give us, God, help us to have a heart of thankfulness and gratitude. Help us to maximize those days. Help us to live for you those days. Help us to be who you've called us to be those days. Because, God, so many didn't get to see, had good intentions, made plans and reservations, booked trips, got to the hotel, checked in, and never checked out. Lord, teach us to number our days. Let us not get so caught up in the what we got on the schedule. Lord, if you say, If you give me strength, if you bless me to have reasonable portion of health and strength, I'll be there. Just like how I say, oh, I hope to see you all for Be Healed 2025. If the Lord blesses us to gather together, we pray that it is His will. We're excited. We're with great anticipation. But Lord, if you say so, and when we're there, we're gonna give Him the glory, because it's just tomorrow's not promised. May God have, may the God of all comfort and peace be with each and every one of us as we all are grieving the various losses that we have heard and seen and known about, even those that have been, quasi family members because they've been introduced to us on shows and different things. We followed their careers for years. But Lord, help us to remain sensitive to your spirit, that we too will be aware that we're on limited time only, and we need to live for you. We need to forgive as you commanded. We need to love as you have instructed and demonstrated, because we're not here for a long time. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. I love you all. May the good Lord bless you real good. Um, if I could sing, where's Crystal when you need her? Not Crystal Cooper. Love you, sister, but no. Um, Crystal Parks, where's she at when I need her? But I love you, Jesus, more than anything. That would be the song. I worship and adore you. I just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. When we live that way, when we really mean that with our whole hearts, it's less of I and it's more of Him. We have to decrease that He will increase. All right. Love you. God bless you. As Shannon said, Lord, help us wake up every day with thankfulness in our hearts. That's right. And go to sleep with such peace of mind. Hi, Auntie. I'll see you tomorrow. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be thankful. Let's end out on a high note, because I know it's been a little somber, maybe more reflective. But Psalms 103, verses 1-3. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that's within me. Bless His holy name. Bless the Lord and forget not His benefits that He loads upon us daily. And when you get into Psalms 103, check out all the benefits that He loads on us daily. Okay? Just tap in, because He's so amazing. So God, I thank you. I bless you for this time of fellowship, this time of worship and praise. God, you are worthy to receive all glory and honor. And God, we thank you that you allowed us to see the close of this day. Thank you for blessing us to be on the 22nd day of the 7th month of 2025. To God be the glory. And Lord, if it be your will, and you wake us up in the morning, God will tell you, thank you once again for blessing us, for keeping us, for directing us, for holding us, for molding us, and leading us in the way you would have us to go. And so, God, as we anticipate so many things that are on the calendar, God, give us strength for the journey ahead. God, close doors that are no good for us, open doors that you want us to walk through, for us to be a blessing and to be blessed. And God, we give you all the praise, all the glory, all the honor in Jesus' name. Amen. Love you. Love you. Love you. And happy early birthday to my sister, my friend, down through the years since high school, Candace Harris, down there in McKinney, Texas. She is the VP of RPM Property Group and everything down there. So proud of her. Tomorrow she's joining the 41 Club. So happy birthday, Candace. Love you, sis. To God be the glory for the great things He has done, is doing. Listen, if you would like to be a guest on the Be Healed Web Show, hey, come on down. I'm in conversation with a few folks, so we're looking to see how August and September is going to look. It's going to be an amazing time. But until then, may God bless you and keep you. And I'll see you, if the Lord wills, next week. Same Be Healed time, same Be Healed channel. Be blessed. Bye. Love y'all.